We're live, Bruce. Here we go, guys. We're on Rover Sports, guys.
Move back, please.
Doing a little bit of a reaction show that we wanted to record today. And I know that a couple of people might join us. This is probably going to be about 5 to 10 minutes, but we wanted to record a video today on the NFL action, Bruce. And I watched a lot of Mitchell Trubisky today, and I thought that Mitchell Trubisky actually played really well. He showed a lot of signs of really mentoring and becoming a really good quarterback. So Trubisky stepped up today. The Lions edged out the Bears. But
the Bears had a crippling missed field goal at the end. That's a terrible way to lose, but that's how they lost.
Terrible way to lose a ball game, but the main storylines, guys, of today. I'm going to say the Vikings beating the Rams. You thought that the Rams were an unstoppable force with Todd Gurley and Jared Goff. The Vikings, when you play them at home, hey, Sports Fury, what's going on, man? You guys probably did a great live stream. It's probably Josh on there. Sean's probably, unfortunately, in a state of real deep, dark depression, and our thoughts are with Sean because he's a Cowboy. He's a Cowboy fan.
Sorry to hear that.
He was dying in the second half, man. And
it was 30-0. It was kind of a blowout. A bit of a blitzkrieg.
Dallas Cowboys, a lot of injuries. I feel for them a little bit, and Byron Jones is a good player. But, the thing is really about the Cowboys is that they just went up against a juggernaut, a team with no mistakes. And, oh my gosh, he had to sing the Eagles fight song live. That's a humiliating
task. He probably got paddled, too. He probably got paddled by Eagles fans. So, unfortunately, it's humiliating. The Cowboys, every dog has its day. The Cowboys have plenty of Super Bowl rings.
They do.
So far, it looks like the Eagles
It's been a long, tough, long tenure. And, Bruce, you look at Jason Garrett. He has, the brown bags under the black bags under his eyes. And it's just unfortunate to see the offense not really take off for the Dallas Cowboys in the second half. A lot had to do with the Eagles, but I would have taken more deep shots with Dez. I thought the offense was predictable. Also, I did like the one drive Dallas had where they milked the clock, but Carson Wentz made too many plays. Jalen Smith didn't stay in gaps. Hitchens, the linebackers played well, but way too many mistakes at the end of the game. But also
too many turnovers. Dak Prescott, uncharacteristic. Yeah. First time in his career, 3 interceptions. He also had some strip fumbles.
These guys weren't
open.
And
if you look at it, Dez Bryant didn't have much yak. He didn't have much yards after the catch.
Dak Prescott didn't play well. He's a complimentary quarterback, There's a reason that he was selected in the 4th round. He needs to have going.
Without Zeke, he kind of lost some of his he lost some of his mojo. And it looks like the Eagles brought the kryptonite tonight.
Dak Prescott's a guy that needs the offense to revolve around him, and he needs the offense to roll, and he's a supplementary quarterback. There's a few guys that can carry a team, like a Brady, like guys like Cam Newton, Carson Wentz, Aaron Rodgers, guys that honestly can make seasons and make magic, like even Drew Brees, even Kirk Cousins. I was even having this discussion. Even Kirk Cousins looks better than Dak Prescott. And that leads me to another game.
Yep.
The Washington Redskins.
How disappointing was that?
No mental fortitude to finish the game.
We have a lot of Redskins fans. We have Jeff Weagle from Toronto. We have John O'Neill from Delaware. A lot of really diehard Redskins fans. And they played the beginning of that game. They played great. They had a 15-point lead. They had no business losing that game, but they did. Their defense just completely willed it. And the New Orleans running
intentional grounding call, too, where the receivers didn't leak out.
Oh, that was terrible.
They butchered the end of the game.
They had the chance. Yeah, that was terrible.
They had a chance for a field goal there.
I just think some of that has to be coaching. They make a lot of mistakes in the
No timeouts to stop the momentum. I thought Kirk Cousins was an all-star today. I think he's an absolute stud, and he's going to get paid a ton of money. And if I were San Francisco and during their bye week, I'm sure Kyle Shanahan was watching Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins put on a light show against a team that no one has really touched all year in the New Orleans Saints defense. So big shout-outs to Kirk Cousins. Bruce, another big shout out
games.
to the Vikings. I mean, Tampa Bay or the Minnesota Vikings with the defensive line shutting Todd Gurley down and then forcing Jared Goff to be a one-dimensional passer on 3rd and long. Jared Goff and Dak Prescott both came back down to earth in huge ways today. And Minnesota at home with Case Keenum not making mistakes and Adam Thielen, who I think is one of the best receivers in all of football, like the new Jordy Nelson, an elite Pro Bowl white
There's
receiver.
definitely
for the
something
Vikings.
between Keenum and what's the guy's
Thielen.
Not an easy name to say.
Yeah.
But Thielen, that guy had a great touchdown run. You saw that over and over again.
He blew the game open for him.
That was it. But you look at the Vikings, it shows you great defense at home. That's a great home team. You look at the Rams, a very good home team, not a good away team. So I think the Rams, as I said yesterday, I predicted they would lose that game. I believe they're more pretenders. They're an up-and-coming team, but they're just not there yet. And Minnesota completely embarrassed them.
I still think the Rams are a good road team. I think the Rams are still going to win that division, especially with Chancellor going down.
They'll win the division.
I think the Rams are contenders. It was a game of 2 contenders, but, it's a learning experience. So,
to lead in your eyes are good. That's better.
Yeah, I thought that it was great wins by Vikings and Saints, no doubt. So also bouncing around the NFL, we had Mitchell Trubisky, Blaine Gabbert, my boy Blaine Gabbert, putting up 3 touchdowns today as Tom Savage and Blaine dueled into the hot Texas sun. And those guys,
Jags are 7-3.
Well, the Jags, yes, they beat the Cleveland Browns, and also we had the Cardinals going down to the Texans today. Blaine Gabbert 3 touchdowns. We have to see if the Blaine train will keep rolling for the Arizona Cardinals.
We had some bad games though.
Early games.
The 4 o'clock. The 4 o'clock games were bad. The Bills got completely destroyed. Started a rookie quarterback.
Peterman.
You call him Nathan for you.
Yeah.
Nathan Peterman, because he was petering, and he kind of looked like a Peter.
He was trash.
And the fact is, they went back to 1991 when they started keeping this stat. There has not been a quarterback, rookie or not, 5 interceptions and a half. Certainly, I can't remember that.
Bruce, also, Adam Gase should be headed for a one-way ticket back up to the Midwest, man. They should get a one-way ticket to, Boise, Idaho or something, or Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That guy, Adam Gase, is a complete, just like cycloptic-looking coach, and he is awful. Jay Cutler, 3 interceptions. That Miami team is one of the worst run franchises in all of sports, right up there with the Cleveland Browns, Miami. Mike Tannenbaum, they have no idea what they're doing there, and they lost to Ryan Fitzpatrick at home today. They were down at some point 20-7 to the hapless Buccaneers. So Adam Gase, what a putrid loss for the Miami Dolphins and Coach Gase. And this team is just going downhill fast.
If you want to see a boring game, the most boring game, which again coincided with the 4 o'clock, was the Oakland Raiders against the Patriots in Mexico City. It looked like the Oakland Raiders had drank some of that water that was tainted with some salmonella because they couldn't have been more apathetic. It was just funny. The receivers, I think they had some neuromuscular disease. They couldn't catch the ball. The Raiders are totally going south. I mean,
Marshawn
that's
Lynch,
a team that started off great.
Sean's beard, what's going on, man? Marshawn Lynch completely ruined that team. I mean, bringing him into the mix with all the drama of the Skittles and him not speaking, whatever. It's not only Lynch's fault.
Derek Carr was apathetic.
Moving to Las Vegas, Derek Carr's arm strength is not that elite. I have some serious concerns about the Raiders. Their defense was masked last year by a terrible schedule and by Derek Carr pulling games like out of his ass. So, when I look at when I really look at the slate though of games, I think, Bruce, that we had the Dolphins game that I mentioned, we had the Browns-Jaguars game that I talked about, but also Cincinnati beating Denver. That's a pretty boring game too that
Denver,
I don't think anybody
watched. It shows
watched.
you that Denver, unfortunately, I had the misfortune of watching that game because we had five TVs going.
Sean's beard, you like my dad more than me, man? Well, the thing is about my dad is he brings a comedic element to the show, and I like to put talented people, surround them around me. And I'm not a great solo act, believe it or not. I like having people, I love having people to bounce ideas off of. But Bruce, I just thought the Saints game was a roller coaster. A fantastic watch to the very end.
It was exciting.
There were other really, really exciting games. The Connor Barth game, the Bears game had some real drama. And I appreciate that. The Sports Fury guys are absolutely incredible, by the way. They're up to about like 5,200 followers. They're the benchmark. And the one thing is about the Sports Fury is that those guys can go live at any time. They have an unbelievable following.
That's like us. We always say we go live when you least expect us.
One day we're going to
when you definitely are not going to watch. That's when we're on.
Well, the thing is about going live is I'm too lazy to upload a video. So the thing is
getting the game.
So I'm way too. I'm
still doing post game. There's Jay and Jai. It looks like he still has a Miami Dolphins hat.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
I'm way too
Jay and Jai with the Miami Dolphins hat in the post game interview. You gotta love that.
I'm way too lazy. I'm way too lazy to upload the videos. That's why I just give it to you guys right here. And we'll also schedule live streams as well. I'm going to be doing a lot of film reviews. But the Chiefs beating the New York Giants, or the Chiefs losing.
That was a snooze
You know what is crazy?
That was, you have to admit, a rather boring game to watch.
No, the Giants' offense was super.
Was it explosive?
Giants' offense was super
for a couple
explosive.
Field goals.
That Giants' offense is freaking awesome, man. That Giants'
Those field goals, man, are so exciting.
Rosas, Eli Manning. Eli proved today why you can't count out Eli Manning. You can't spell elite without Eli. Eli Manning, when all the chips are on the table, when all the adversity is against him, that's when he performs. Also, how ballsy was that call on fourth down? Because the Giants, they could have lost the game. A tie would have really helped their record this year. So what a ballsy call by Ben McAdoo.
It's true. Also,
right?
Andy Reid.
How ballsy.
There's something called the Andy Reid slide, which means he always starts off the year with a lot of wins, and at the end, he always starts the slide. And so he's lost at least 2 or 3 in a row.
And it's off of a bye week. I think Andy Reid
is 9-2 off the bye week, but today he came ill-prepared.
It's time for Andy Reid to go to Subway, Taco Bell, and Wendy's in one sitting and start putting back that weight on.
I think so. I think he's too thin. I think he's losing weight from his brain action.
He's losing weight. His team's playing softer, not using enough pad level.
By the way,
not
you know what they're
heavier.
not doing? You also note the play calls. Alex Smith is back to being a game manager. 3 to 5 yard passes. You can't win that way. He's not throwing it downfield.
They castrated him.
They did. I think it was chemical castration.
What happened? Did he?
Death by Oxford. Death by Oxford.
He had an artificial. I don't know what the hell was going on at the Patriots game. Remember Patriots Alex Smith? Remember the Alex Smith that beat the Eagles? Remember the Alex Smith that beat the Redskins on Monday Night Football? Who the heck is that quarterback? Because he is the most overrated player of the year.
Well, I'm saying Alex Smith played great, but why did he go into a shell?
He's in the MVP conversation.
Alex Smith? Not
he
anymore.
Was. I'm saying for like 6 games, he was, Bruce.
For a bit, he was.
No, for a long time. And the thing about Alex Smith...
But you know what thing about Andy Reid?
He doesn't have any deep ball guys,
He also falls in love. Andy Reid is in love with passing the ball. Even when passing doesn't work,
shovel pass.
He doesn't run the ball. And that is his downfall. It was his downfall for 13 years here in Philadelphia.
Sean's beard, I could probably tell you're a Bears fan because you care a lot about Connor Barth and his well-being, and I can understand that if you're a Bears fan. Here's the thing about Connor Barth, man, is that Mitch Trubisky on that drive, he had one of the great scrambles on 4th and 15. He put on like an invisibility cloak where he was like making people miss. He made one of the most spectacular runs. It like froze time. It's like one of those movies like The Natural. Mitchell Trubisky running on 4th down. That was an unbelievable, just ballsy play because the Lions were in prevent and Trubisky dove and got the 1st down, made an incredible run. Then he hit Inman. He threw a 20-yard dart to Inman. Bears with all the momentum in the world, and Connor Barth, he couldn't even hit the damn netting. He missed it so far right.
That was a terrible
most Bears game
I understand
ever.
Why there's a lot of discussion there. That was a complete fade.
Most Bears game ever.
I call that a push fade in golf.
Block.
That's a push fade or a block.
That thing was dead.
He blocked. That's a dead. Not a yank. He blocked that right to the moon.
Right.
And if you're a Bears fan, that's a terrible way to lose. Look, the Eagles didn't even have a kicker in the second half. But who cares?
Cheers to, you know what our word of the day is? Nepotism. And I'm thankful to have a guy as talented as me who gave birth to me and this guy right here.
I didn't give birth to you. I
You
get
did.
to
You're
thank
my
your mother.
dad. Well, halfway. But you know who gave birth to Jim Mora Jr. was
It's Jim Mora.
senior.
I hope so.
Playoffs. Talk about
Playoffs? Are you
playoffs.
talking about playoffs? We talking about playoffs here?
So a lot of times in the coaching industry, you usually come from a pedigree. And Jim Mora Jr. has benefited so much. He was a crappy, mediocre coach with the Falcons. Very nice guy. Whenever you meet Jim Mora.
We met him, actually. Remember where we met him?
At the Super Bowl.
We
Super
met
Bowl
him
Radio
at
Row.
Radio Road, Super Bowl.
Radio
Great
Row.
guy.
Great
He's
guy.
also working with a lot of the concussion, with mouthpieces and the electronic mouthpieces to reduce concussions.
Spending too much time on
He's going to
that.
have a lot of time to do that
Yeah.
because UCLA has cut him loose. Did you see Freddie Mitchell?
What
Freddie
about
Mitchell
Fred
had a
X?
nice tweet today. He said, coaches could come and go, but I'm always here. Freddie Mitchell, formerly of the UCLA Bruins, otherwise known as Fred X.
So now
4th and
UCLA,
26.
like a lot of people thought UCLA would be a better fit for Chip because Chip, can kind of, hide in the LA celebrity sphere because
I
it's
thought he was
not the
hiding in the
greatest show.
Florida. I thought he's hiding in the Everglades of Florida.
Well, the one thing is you can't really hide there, in SEC country of Florida, with the Florida Gators. But
What have you heard?
shall,
Where's Chip going? What are the latest rumors?
I think he's going to Florida because I don't think Scott Frost's going to Nebraska. So that'll really cause some real scrambling from the Gators if they can't get him. Maybe Dan Mullen. So, we'll have to check that
Dan
out.
Mullen's a good pick. Dan Mullen, maybe A&M. He
Yeah.
can flip to A&M. That would be a good.
I don't know. If
That'd be a good call.
I think Jimbo might go to A&M, but we'll see. Mullen,
Jimbo's a
maybe
good coach.
Tennessee.
We watched
Mullen,
him.
maybe Tennessee.
We've been watching a lot of film from Jimbo.
Jimbo Fisher. Alrighty, guys.
Comments. Here we go. Comments.
Yep, absolutely. Chris Thompson of the Redskins. You're absolutely right, Sean.
Broken fibula. Luckily, a non-weight-bearing bone. However, he will be out the rest of the year.
Leonard
Not a
Floyd.
bad injury. If you have to fracture a bone, the fibula is one of the best to break.
Leonard Floyd, man. Oh, man, that's a dang tough injury. Leonard Floyd out of Georgia really is coming on. And I'm proud of the way that Vic Fangio is using that guy because he's a very raw, he was a raw talent out of Georgia, and they're playing him in this 3-4 defense, and he's getting after the quarterback well, and they lost Freeman early in the season, so the Bears defense, it just was a really rough conclusion to the game. But anyway, guys, we're going to cut the feed right here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of film reviews are coming tomorrow, and maybe some more live streams later in the week as we look towards the next week in NFL football. Like the page, subscribe, rewatch the video, and thank you guys for listening to the show.
Ditto.